Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Beirut Buzz. I'm Marianne, and with me today is one of my favorite co-workers, Taleen. Hi Taleen.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
ماشي الحال, we're surviving.
Literally, in these circumstances, Yani, I don't know how to answer the question when someone asks me, how
All
are
of
you?
like, just surviving there, and the answer to this question is
I,
always
th- I think surviving is a good word.
it's the best answer so far. يعني where we are عن جد, it's really chaotic. There's no other way to really describe what's going on.
عن جد, يعني, if friends from abroad call us and go like, how are things in Lebanon? I really don't know how to answer that question.
أنا lately my response has been laughing لأنه I genuinely have no other way to like it's a response to trauma بحس يعني there's no other way and the situation is so bad you just
It really is.
لدرجة إنه خلص بتضحكي إنه like no way this is happening.
Like before they used to say that a coping mechanism that we have is just making a joke out of everything, but now when I see people joke about the situation, it's completely disgusting. Like I can't even tolerate that.
Especially with the fact إنه like people press sometimes they underestimate how hard it is for like the majority of the population. ما عم بحكي عن like the people that are actually going through like who are hit hardest by the crisis. Sometimes بتكون ردة الفعل تاعيتهم رقص وغنى just trying to hold on to the positivity. بس في ناس إنه معينة بيكونوا they're sitting at home. Alhamdulillah, they have a roof over their heads. They're more privileged than others. بينكتوا بطريقة that's borderline insensitive.
That's true. That's very
it's
true.
It's a very Lebanese thing, just making a joke out of everything.
And like they're not even funny jokes. Like yesterday, I remember I saw a video of a guy dancing on a car. Like, there's no gas, there's no mazout. I don't know what to say. يعني عن جد شيء بيبكي, عن جد بطل شيء بيضحك.
Unbelievable. يعني I don't even know what I prefer. يقعدوا يرقصوا بالثورة أو يرقصوا on cars إنه
عن جد.
Like what's going on?
It hit everyone. يعني ما بعتقد في شخص هلا يمكن تلاقي شقفة من لبنان منه مأثر بشو عم بيصير, بس يمكن ما بعرف 95% من لبنان متأثر أكيد بشو عم بيصير يعني, بس ما بعرف, like just talking about this هيك gives me stress.
وهلا with the issue مع like البنزين, maybe we can segue into what we wanted to discuss for the podcast. I start my semester in fall. وإذا I really want to think about it, ما في بنزين for me to go to campus, ولا حيكون في كهرباء for me to like watch my online classes. ما عارفة like exactly what the university is gonna do to like solve this problem.
Yeah, like where do you stand? كمان إنه تنزلي على الجامعة أو تدرسي online, كمان إنه هيك إنه كيف بدك تحسي أنت إنه تقعدي تدرسي بكل شيء عم بيصير كمان, you know, like let's say it happens that let's say miraculously بيصير عنا بنزين, بتصيري تنزلي على الجامعة وهيك, بس إنه هيك just mentally ما بعرف. I really don't know.
أنا I'm an LAU student ومعودة my first like year and a half like اتمشى بشوف like حمرة bliss everything with people رايحة وجاية very إنه هيك lively. هلا امشي بالحمرة I see all of these places like المحلات that closed down, ما في حدا إله نفس يطلع بحدا ولا حدا إله نفس يشتري شيء. Like the snacks I would have like in between classes probably مستحيل أعملها anymore. Like إذا صرت بدي أدفع like over 30,000 for a shawarma just to like fill me up to handle the rest of my classes, I really can't do that anymore.
Yeah, it's no longer feasible. يعني ما بعرف حتى كمان مثلا you said you were LAU, I was AUB, I'm a graduate. For our listeners, I'm a graduate and Taleen's still undergrad. مثل ما قلت يعني كنت انزل على AUB, امشي على بليس شو انبسط انه هيك. It's very like when I go to Bliss now, it's very like هيك kind of nostalgic if that's the right word. هيك اطلع شوف انه واو, روح انه as cliché as it sounds, يعني نروح على لاتي ارت نجيب our coffee, او نروح على دانكن نجيب لتر كوفي, بنروح على جافت. بس انه هلا it feels like these memories are dead, and people who are hopefully يعني going to go on campus now, whether AUB or LEU, I don't think they're going to have similar experiences to people like who had before everything that happened, you know?
100%. وأنا like عتلاني how when I go back on campus I can't do whatever I was doing before that actually motivated me to go on campus. يعني the entire fun part of going to Beirut, because I live in Shwaifat, it's like a 45-minute drive مع عجقة الصبح, so it was still worth it يعني to go on campus. You see people, تنزلي تتمشي بالحمراء. I used to walk to, don't ask why, but I used to go to AUB a lot because your campus
our arrival on campus.
ايه على فكرة going back to that, whenever someone found out I was LEU I would get verbally abused شوي. UB people بتكون true يعني. The rivalry still lives on.
لا, I feel like this is the only thing that can stand يعني LEU versus AUB. بس مثل ما قلت إنه ما بعرف, it's just weird إنه كيف هيك. It was so easy for us إنه أنا كمان I live around like 25 minutes away from AUB kinda. I live in عين سعادة. إنه كنا نروح الصبح عادي نروح على الجامعة. And most of the university experience is actually like campus life and your friends, and of course there are classes, your professors وهيك, بس إنه at least to me, I was a media major. I loved going on campus every day. يعني I loved my professors. I loved يعني كنت شوي ما بعرف كيف بدي أقولها إنه there are two parts to AUB, people who hate it and people who love it. I used to love AUB. It was an overall experience يعني كمان إنه people will not be, are those your dogs?
I don't know if you can hear that, but I'm sorry in advance. So you're gonna have
to all our listeners, Taleen has 3 dogs. So yeah, as I was saying, like it was a full-on experience. تنروح إنه AUB كلها عبالها كانت experience at least بتعقد to me. بس بعرف it wasn't the same to everyone. بس ما بعرف إنه. So Taleen, أنت as an LEU student هلا إنه let's say it's confirmed إنه ترجعوا on campus هلا end of August if I'm not mistaken. كيف how do you feel about that? Like صار لنا سنة ونص approximately everything has been online. ترجعوا هيك suddenly on campus. What do you think?
I left LEU earlier than I left because I went abroad and then I came back. I just have fall of 2018, spring of 2019, but take like memories of those. Well, they were really good memories. يعني the cafeteria, student lounge. I spent most of the time in silent zone, in library because I was a pre-med major. But there were really, good parts about the whole thing, like getting my coffee in coffee van, having pasta in Marco's. I think it's a little shack that gives you your pasta in a cup, سكر. Sadly يعني بس I don't know قد ايه حيكون إلي نفس to go walk around the area وشوف كل هالمحلات اللي كنا نحبها مسكرة, or at least إذا I want to go get something printed out بمالكس ما أحس إنه I'm putting a hole in my wallet. بس something I used to do on the daily وما حتى أفكر like مصروفي. وفوق منه بحس like نفسية everyone going on campus is going to be horrible. يعني we struggled to نتعود على online learning, and then now we're gonna go back to campus learning بس مع COVID وهيك everyone حتكون نفسيته كتير بالأرض و just trying to adapt. I think the first year that we're back it's gonna be the same as us, like adapting to online learning. هلا just readapting to everything, going semi back to normal لأنه الحمد لله things just keep getting worse هلا. بس
عن جد
كلها نفسية.
يعني even I feel like as an employee in any company يعني مثلا أنا if يعني our work has been remote since the first day I started, which is almost a year. يعني قد صار لنا 8 أشهر approximately. هلا إنه ما عم بتخيل كتير حالي أوعى الصبح وإنه انزل على office, وحتى يعني مش بس الشغل بoffice هيك just like interaction with people, يعني حتى if I were to go back on campus now I was usually very social بس إنه ما بحس هلا إلي نفس حتى to like try to make friends because the only common conversation that we all have, even يعني حتى when you're going out with your friends now, what do we talk about? ما في بنزين, and the fact that our futures are like they're literally in danger, like they're threatened because most of us are stuck here. Other conversations are how most people from high school are no longer in Lebanon. Most people in university we went with are no longer in Lebanon. So it's just plain on, I don't want to say sad, but it's we're still so young. I'm 23, and if not, I'm not mistaken, you're 21.
Yeah.
And as they say, these are the best years of our lives. But again, and I always say that anyone in their life goes through something, like no one's life is perfect, so we all go through something. I don't know how to describe that something, بس يعني مثل ما أهلنا يقولوا لنا على أيام الحرب وهيك, maybe إن شاء الله نحن ما نعيش نشوف الحرب, بس إنه maybe that's kind of like the situation that we're witnessing. I'm not making any sense now, بس إنه
فهمانين عليك I think because everyone هيك ضايع, we're just not really إنه able to
exactly like, cause I don't know how to describe it. Like you can't say it's a crisis, but today, like while I was writing an article, I was really going to say that crisis is really an understatement. يعني ما بعرف بقى شو بدي أقول الواحد.
لأنه it's a crisis on all levels, economic, political, psychological, كل شيء يعني ما تركوا شيء الحمد لله like ما يضربونا فيه. بس like in my opinion إنه لما our parents used to say إنه like أيام الحرب وكان هيك إنه لو هلأ في حرب بعيد الشر يعني I really don't want to like jinx anything.
knock on wood.
At least إنه لو كان في حرب we can say إنه أوكي من وراء الحرب عم يتدهور الوضع. Like هلا we still don't understand what exactly is going on. يعني ما في لا political transparency ولا transparency in the media. A lot of misinformation going on. يعني ما حدا exactly فاهمين what's going on behind closed doors ليكون الوضع هالقد عم ينهار بهالسرعة. يعني at least إنه لو كان في حرب there's something to point a finger at. عرفتي كيف؟
Exactly, and especially that the media in general كمان kind of like pisses me off, because one day you hear إنه ما في بنزين, and then the next day you hear إنه في بنزين but it's going to last 10 days, and that يعني it's just يعني it's like this spiral. And I don't think we all know that Lebanese media in general, it is like the only thing they focus on is clickbait and people to click on their articles وهيك, بس إنه عن جد it affects so much when someone just reads one sentence. يعني إنه it's scary يعني حتى يعني نحن we are kind of like, if you want to say media outlet, بس إنه يعني at least أنا كexperience أنا بس أكتب عن شيء أخبار, it takes me a while to actually like process إنه شو عم بيصير. إنه ما بعرف يعني عن جد, يمكن قلت ما بعرف كم مرة بهالبودكاست بس this is where we can shift into university experience in general. As we mentioned, Taleen was LEU, I was AUB, and I'm sure we have different experiences, especially that we were known to be rivals, especially with LEU Beirut
universities.
So what like, you've told us what you miss about LEU. What are some like striking memories? What's one thing you wish you could have done? Anything that what do you want to say?
Maybe not spend so much time in the silent zone studying. Like I used to have classes 8 a.m. وخلص at like 12, but I'd stay in the library until like 6 p.m. بس عم بدرس. إنه being a pre-med, no one likes pre-med. Trust me, أنا كمان I don't like pre-meds. I transfer. بس إنه after like the crisis وكل شيء بتقولي إنه if my years at university هلا they're going away. يعني أنا هلا حخلص جامعة, I don't really have any good memories. The memories I do have هو أنا بالsilent zone عم بدرس for Bio 201 و like عم بحفظ 200 pages a day. يعني ما it's not the best memories يعني, بس still إنه لو I could go back I would go back. Maybe transfer من أول ما فتت as pre-med. بس إنه still يعني I miss إنه sitting like contemplating بالقليلة إنه أنا what am I going to do after I graduate because إنه once you're in your like second year تقريبا or end of your first year people دغري they start talking about where they want to like يكفوا بدك تكفي med school are you going to go into research بدك تعمل your masters وقتها it was so much easier to talk about يعني أنت هلأ
It really was.
maybe you can like give us some intel how that was for you يعني after you graduated.
أنا ever since like the decisions that any system forced us to do was literally terrible يعني حتى كنا بالgrade 11 grade 10 actually يقولوا لنا إنه بدكم تفوتوا SE إنه sociology economics أو تفوتوا sciences يعني حتى this is where I'm like fuck like I have to make this like I like sciences but at the same time like physics is hard so I can't I like bio but I can't work with physics so the first time someone asked me that like I didn't know what to do so then after when you graduate from high school and you have to make this one decision of what you want to major in you start to think and then find like in the application they tell you you could apply I think to like 5 majors أو هيك شيء
undergrad
I think like you had options like what's your first option second option third option if I'm not mistaken so I'm like okay like let me just put media as a first option and then just if that doesn't work out I applied to English Lit and business and agriculture which was very random but eventually I got into media and I was so excited because media and AUB is very generous so you get to choose technically what you like in that field so after my first year of uni I started to think like wow what do I want to do in media because there's nothing specific that you can like it's very theoretical there like it's not the more photography production side that I like but I loved media and AUB so I'm like okay like when I graduate like the minute I graduate I'm gonna apply to masters I'll be 21 by 23 I'll be done with my masters 24 maximum I'll be done with my masters maybe work a year before you know like my life was gonna be perfect by the age of like 26 you know like I have my masters done I'll have a job that pays well I don't know what I used to think because like we're in Lebanon I mean it's hard to find a job يعني especially now right إنه كتير صعبة يعني half of my friends كمان they just graduated and they don't know what to do بس كمان the other half are just leaving يعني ما حدا باقي هون ما حدا so I'm just like okay إنه خلاص حأعمل ماسترز حأشتغل حروح برا حروح على فرانس وما بعرف شو مدري شو my last semester turns out to be online which I low-key enjoyed the first half because I was kind of like comfortable sitting at home like not having to drive every day to AUB وهيك and then I spent 8 months unemployed and this was where I'm like shit يعني ما بعرف قديه I don't think people talk I don't think enough people talk about post-graduation depression I think that's what they call it because we graduated in May and then it was summer so it was your first quote-unquote free summer although there was COVID but the COVID cases were stable at the time so كنا ننبسط وهيك and then by like September عن جد I crashed يعني the crisis was getting worse و the dollar كان عم بيطلع ووقتها طلع الانفجار و I'm like خلاص إنه ما فينا أعمل شيء عن جد ما فينا أعمل شيء so I didn't know what يعني 8 months it was a lot was it 8 months technically I graduated in May and I stopped uni in May it wasn't really 8 months لا بس إنه like 6-7 months بس إنه
of last year
yeah
over a year ago 8 months
so ما بعرف because it's so severe in my head I'm like 8 months they sound like كتير كتار فقعدت بند البيت انه تمنت وشو شتويه يعني تخيل الشتويه يعني كمان بتزيد على الستريس وبتزيد ف this was my experience يعني عن جد وهيك كنت ازعل انه شوف رفقاتي عم بفلوا وانا ما فيني فل انه هلا كتير الوضع كتير صعب I can't leave and I need to find a job and then by like December alhamdulillah I found a job but I don't think enough people talk about how it's really 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 tough especially now I feel like experiences are going to be so different between you and me يعني you're going to have a totally different experience post your graduation you know So I don't know what are your plans post graduation?
هيك صراحة when people go like and they were planning to leave after they graduated and they're like يا الله I can't do that anymore حبيبي أنا I left last year and I had to come back شو عم تحكوا؟
That's true.
أنا before I graduated I transferred إنه to leave I transferred back بس كرمال إنه I could no longer withdraw money from the bank كرمال الوضع بلش يسيء ووقفوا the credit cards abroad. They made it too hard. يعني هلا I think the best decision I made هو I came back because إذا مثلا أمي وبيي بدهم يحولوا لي like أجار my apartment was like 300 euros. The uni per semester was 300. إذا بدي يحولوا لي هلا 300 euros على 20,000 or like لنقول على 3,900. It's impossible يعني عمل هيك. وفوق منه إنه أنا my dad's a pharmacist. Everyone in the team knows this لأنه I don't shut up about my dad.
We love your dad though.
So pharmacists بعدهم بيشتغلوا على 1,005. هلا recently some medications رفع عليهم الدعم صاروا على 12,000 15,000. بس a lot of the major sales are still على 1,005. يعني بيي بيشتري البضاعة على سعر الصرف at like 20,000 وببيعها على 1,005 or على 12,000 which is not enough to like sustain a family of 4 فوق مصاريف like الكهرباء والمي و everything else. like إذا هلأ بقعد بتخيل إنه أنا بيي بده يحول لي 300 يورو بالشهر for أجار بيتي غير إنه my food و like أكلي و my luxuries وهول بصير حس إنه لا I made the right decision مع إنه it was a lot of people like gave me shit for it كتير إنه ليش رجعتي وأنا زاد علي كتير إنه عن جد أنا ليش رجعت. I was lucky enough to leave و I had to come back بس إنه it was really إنه not within my control.
Yeah.
really إنه it's just being Lebanese it's like a curse. يعني وين ما تروحي بدك تاكلي خرارك somehow.
عن جد يعني حتى اليوم كتبنا عن the passport lines for our listeners who don't know today apparently yesterday night actually people were waiting in line at 2 a.m. 3 a.m. to get their passport renewed. يعني حتى إذا شخص بده يفل من هالبلد هلا بطل فيه قد ما عم بيخلوك تعملي شيء. يعني even if you want to get your passport renewed that might take even يعني months هلا بطل شيء كتير هين.
Yeah, like they're processing like 7,000 application a day ومبارح بقيوا للساعة 3 الصبح just waiting in line. يعني بدهم يعرقلوها إنه in any way possible. حتى إذا بدك تفلي you have this concern of تفتحي bank account برا تلاقي a job or تسجلي بجامعة. if you did have these down بدك تروحي to wait in line until 3 a.m. to get your passport renewed. إنه
like you can't make this stuff up. like if someone عن جد إذا حدا منه عارف شيء بلبنان مش عارف شو عم بيصيروا بتخبريه هيدا الشيء عن جد يمكن بيقول إنه what the fuck إنه عم تخترعيهم. لأنه عن جد مرات إنه ما بس أنا عن جد مرات ما بستوعب. I don't know how dumb this sounds بس عن جد مرات ما بستوعب إنه هيدا الحياة هيك. عن جد إنه ما بصدق إنه حياتنا هيك. إنه ما في مزود ما في كهرباء. هلا اليوم ما في الأفران سكروا محلات عم بيسكروا. عن جد مثل ما قلت إنه عن جد لبنان عم يخلص. خلص لبنان.
It feels like هيك expiration date. It's like just getting.
It's crazy يعني. وقد ما نحكي عن الكرايسيس وقد ما هيك إنه it's such a يعني my heart feels heavy when I talk about it, you know.
I think a lot of the things that are going on فوق منه what weighs كتير heavily علينا like mentally هو إنه من brevet they set your life up. يعني بدك تروحي على second I don't know if that's what you say in French بس إنه like 10th grade بدك تنقي إذا بدك LS JS ما بعرف شو and then you have to know what you want to do in university and then اللي بده يعمل PhD like you have to have all of this planned out. But لما you're in a country that has so much uncertainty و instability يعني بأقل لحظة بيخرب كل شيء. Like I can't decide هلا إنه أنا مثلاً in my school we don't have غير LS because it's a German school but it's a German system. بس we had بس LS وأنا هلا اختصاصي ما خصه بالLS حتى إنه I took like biology و chemistry وكل هالأخبار. Now I'm going more into like writing وjournalism وهيك it's ما حدا بيعرف بأي لحظة بيتغير كل شيء. when you're in this country بتجي بتقرري مثلا بعد البريفي إنه بدك تعملي this and then you want to go to this university و study and then بدك تروحي تعملي masters. أنا هلأ I have no idea what I'm going to do for my masters. ما بعرف لا شو بدي أعمل ولا وين ولا كيف إنه هلأ to graduate وأخلص. I have no idea. I'm trying إنه not to set a goal إنه تكون my life together by 26 or like 25 لأنه بعرف إذا وصلت to this age the goal that I set وما أكون واصلة ومخلصة what I want حيصير معي انهيار. خلص كون وصلت للماكس تاعي like trying to hold on to some control يعني بحياتك. بس خلص you're just so consumed بلبنان شو عم بيصير و every little thing بيأثر عليك. عن جد you're not living for yourself anymore. You're just إنه عن جد surviving. بدي أعرف how to get food on my plate و as long as في a roof over my head بحس إنه this is what's become إنه enough. This is like horrible يعني humiliating على الآخر.
عن جد humiliating is the right word. ومثل ما قلت إنه when you were in high school when you were in school يعني إنه هيك they impose these things on you وأنت إنه قد عمرك 14 15 وإنه they never really taught you what university is going to be like because they think everything they do is enough. Like have an open house for AUB at our high school. Or not open house, sorry, like a I don't know what you call it. I forgot what it's called.
Orientation.
Yeah, they think this is enough, but it's really not. وعن جد I feel like هلا كل الناس اللي بالمدرسة وحتى اللي هلا فايتين على الجامعة I believe it's hard for them لأنه عن جد يعني بس لبنان كان مش كورن كوت ماشي حاله كانت صعبة علينا إنه تخيلي هلا لأنه عن جد these things that are happening now affect so much. يعني ما بعتقد الناس بيعرفوا قد it affects people especially يعني all due respect to every teacher and professor بس كمان إنه I feel like they should take into consideration إنه بس يروقوا شوي على التلميذ هلأ كمان يعني أنا my dad's a professor and I see how much he's struggling إنه
hey my mom كمان like it's not easy for them
at all I feel like maybe it's a two-way thing كمان
yeah
they kind of have to like work together to make this thing as quote unquote easy as possible يعني مع كل شيء اللي عم بيصير بس إنه now I really don't know where they're going to be headed يعني وكمان إنه مثل ما قلت إنه هيك just like I thought by 26 I'm going to have my life figured out but I feel like كمان with COVID happening حسيت إنه تعلمت شيء إنه there's a timeline for everyone يعني مثلا هلأ بشوف رفقاتي مسافرين وبلشوا جامعة وهن أصغر يعني مش أصغر مني they're like 22 21 إنه they finished uni and they're traveling and I look at them I go like why can't this be me ليه أنا ما قدرت سافرت وعملت إنه أنا عملت شيء غلط ما قدمت at the right time ما حطيت enough effort etc بس at another time تصير فكر إنه لا إنه what if I get my master's by 28 it's a bit late for everyone around me to go like wow you got your master's so late but each one has their own timeline
yeah
and like especially هلا الوضع بلبنان خلاص إنه everything is on pause يعني قد ما صير فكر إنه بدي صمد مصاري طفل هلا على لبنان المصريات يعني هلا شو لهم عازم ما إنه عازم إذا بدي يعني يعني خلاص إنه هلا I feel like I put my life on pause until hopefully things start to work back up again. It's not impossible to travel. They're making it impossible right now, but hopefully in the coming years, these 2 years, I just hope it gets easier. I just really hope it gets just a bit easier.
هو like it's about بفكر هلا what I want to do post-grad. إذا بدي أبقى بلبنان هلا thankfully يعني نحن we're considered among the more privileged people. We acknowledge that يعني تلاميذ AUB وقاليو الحمد لله أهلي ولا مرة خلوا شي بعيني يعني they tried as much as possible إنه whatever I need يعملوا لي إياه إنه we acknowledge إنه نحن more privileged بس the crisis is إنه مش عم يترك حدا يعني you're either the rich 1% or you're poor خلص إنه that there's no in between يعني هلا إذا بدي أقعد أفكر أنا what I want to do post-grad إذا بدي أبقى بلبنان I still don't know what I want to do إذا بدي كفي هون إذا اليونيفرسيتيز حيبقوا فاتحين أصلاً لا أقدر كفي هون or إذا حيصيروا مثلاً على 20,000 I don't think إنه I can like pay for a private university على 20,000 or I end up going to Lebanon which is also an option بس then what بحس إنه إذا بقيت هون I'm in the cycle of staying بلبنان and not going anywhere وإذا بدي فل I have to consider إنه إيه بدي أفتح bank account حساب بالدولار أو باليورو بدي أعطل هم مصروفي بالشهر I have to try to find a job برا just no one estimate the culture shock لأنه أنا بس رحت أنا I've been speaking German for كل حياتي like I've been taking it since kindergarten German school I speak the language fluently I know German culture لأنه I was surrounded by German teachers so it wasn't as hard for me but still كتير أثرت على my mental health it was still a big shock يعني people اللي رايحين to places they have no idea like about like لا the culture ولا الجو كيف ولا الوضع كيف حينقذوا كتير و just thinking about إنه أنا هلأ قاعدة بلبنان إذا بدي أقعد أفكر إنه I'm gonna have to go through that again بصير إنه I have second thoughts I hesitate لأنه mentally it's كتير it weighs heavy on you
yeah it's
أنا مش ناقصني هلأ شيء يقعد يزيد على راسي لأنه honestly الmental state تاعول اللبنانية صار زفت يعني ما حدا له نفس يقعد يفكر بمستقبله بقى we're just sitting و surviving وما عم نعمل شيء this is how I feel لأنه هلأ بجرب قد ما فيه ما أعطل هم my masters ولا أعطل هم إذا بدي أخذ قرار أبقى أو فيل أو I just want like يخلص بس I graduate صير graduate لكل حديث يعني هيك baby steps لأنه غير هيك إنه ما بتعرفي بأي لحظة بيخرب البلد like أو بيتغير شيء you know so إنه maybe the best thing for our mental health هلأ إذا إنه not to get our hopes up أو not to expect too much يعني لبعدين لأنه every single day is proving إنه it's just getting worse it's reaching ridiculous points of إنه humiliation و depression ووضع إنه وضع ما بينحكى فيه there are not enough words to express هيدا الوضع إنه قد عم بيأثر على الناس وقد it's horrible for a human being ما حتى بس كلبنانية like as human beings هيدا منه شيء مقبول يكون عم بيصير like for me to feel like أنا ما عندي مستقبل بقى that's unacceptable نحن أساس البلد نحن the youth we're gonna facilitate change we're gonna نكفي the legacy of إنه هيدا بلد a functional country where people can have opportunities وما يحسوا إنه ضروري يفلوا كرمال ما تسكر البواب قدامهم you know like this should not be happening to us at this age
do you think that maybe later on in the future the youth would still want to make this country a functioning country like because a lot of people يعني حتى في ناس يعني أصغر منا أو من عمرنا أو شوية أكبر منا يعني they actually يعني يمكن most of them they give up on this country يعني أنا اللي عن جد كتير بحبه للبنان وأنا يعني كتير شوي معلقة بلبنان which is a bit worrying يعني إذا if ever I travel which I really want to بحس أنا بالنهار يعني قد ما الخرا اللي نحن فيه هلا إذا حدا بيقول لي هلا فيلم من لبنان فكر فيها بس مرتين ما بعرف I don't know it's scary to even think إنه حتى يمكن ما يكون في حدا بلبنان that would want to make this country a functioning country you know
yeah like أول الثورة I knew a lot of people كانوا ينزلوا every day ويجيبوا ناس like to get a crowd enough إنه okay هاي ثورة we're trying to do something بس إنه بتوصل لمرحلة people إنه gave up وبطلت الناس تنزل بصير هيدا الشخص اللي عن جد إنه they're trying to يبقى throughout إنه to keep ثورة going يصير يقول إنه لا أنا لحالي عم بنزل على الشارع ماني مضطر روح انحبس كرمال I'm the only person that's going وعم يتظاهر like أكترية الناس هيك بيفكروا بيقولوا أنا ماني مضطر to get involved like إنه legal issues أو انحبس أو اتوقف for people that I know إنه they're not gonna fight as hard يعني بيصير معي motivation اقعد like to plan protests وجمع ناس و like نروح like to politicians houses ونتظاهر قدام بيوتهم I have insane motivation sometimes to do that other times I'm just like خلاص I don't care, get nuked, حرب, whatever. I really could not care less. أوقات إنه هيك وأوقات هيك. It's I don't know how I don't want to speak for everyone else, but I feel like this is the dilemma that's going on هلا. Like people بدهم ينزلوا but there's not enough support من باقي الشعب اللبناني لأنه everyone's just so mentally tired وعندهم هيدا internal conflict إنه شو do I keep fighting or do I just give up and leave. يعني I think this is هلا for the most part what most people are going through هلا إنه this conflict. Do I keep going or do I just stop?
هلا it's sad because كمان إنه مثلاً بس كان في the August 4 commemoration. I didn't want to say protest because a lot of people called it that, and I'm like, I told my friends, I'm like, guys يلا إنه ننزل, and then one of my friends went like, for what?
Exactly.
And I'm like,
and so many people said the same thing.
إنه هيك إنه كيف يعني بتقلي for what؟ إنه شو هالسؤال الخرا يعني كيف بتقلي هيك for what؟
Yeah. Their argument is usually إنه أوكي حينزلوا على August 4, August 5 ما حيكون في حدا على الشارع. I think that was true. That was true for the most part. كل الناس نزلت على commemoration بس whatever happened after بطل في حركة على الشوارع like in terms of protests و demonstrations وهيك. إنه إذا بتصيروا كل سنة بدكم تنزلوا على the commemoration بس كرمال to feel like you need to fight for justice لا بلاها. Honestly إذا بدكم to make this a yearly thing where you just accept إنه صار هيك فينا so many lives were lost لأن إنه نحن عم نبكي على ناس we don't know. إنه كل هالvictims إنه أنا الحمد لله I didn't have anyone close to me that was injured or that passed away. وإنه أكيد our condolences to all of the families و everyone who was affected by the explosion. أنا ببكي على ناس ما بعرفها. For me to think إنه there are people that are gonna do this إنه performance كل سنة بدهم ينزلوا لي على stories إنه أنا نزلت على commemoration. I'd rather not see that لأنه بقص إيدي إذا these people are actually trying to do anything else إنه عم تتظاهروا are you doing something ولا بس بدكم تجولي على August 4 to cry شوي و not do anything about the fact إنه over 200 people died 200 and counting يعني مش إنه خلاص there's this solid number إنه كانت for a while 217 and then a lot of people kept compiling وطلعوا over much إنه أكتر من هيك بكتير إنه it's a year later ما في missing persons list وما في إنه a solid number like how many people passed away من ورا the explosion. إنه does this not bother people enough like actually ينزلوا يتظاهروا or is it just إنه خلاص بدكم كل سنة على August 4 تنزلوا تضوولك شمعة إنه what exactly do you want? I don't want to blame anyone كرمال بعرف the mental state أنا كمان ما بيكون إلي نفس to do anything. I understand بس إنه this performative activism it makes things so much worse. إنه خيي بدكم تغيروا ولا ما بدكم just حطونا بالجولة. أعرف بس إنه how to deal with social media لما أشوف ناس I know ما بينزلوا I know they don't care عالم بيكون مع مصاري فيهم يفلوا بس بدهم. I genuinely know these people that have enough money والحمد لله يعني ما بدي سيبهم بالعين والله يزيدهم whatever بس I know هول الناس that go down بس لأنه they can مش لأنه they have to. You know what I mean?
I get what you're saying and it's frustrating because I completely felt the same وقت August 4th. يعني أنا نهارتها يعني كنا بالبيت we were reporting from home بس إنه عن جد يعني حتى لو حسيت إنه أنا كنت بالبيت بس إنه I watched it through television fine بس إنه حسيت إنه I was still there with them. You know what I'm saying? Because you have a lot of people يعني حتى بس August 4 explosion من بعد الانفجار في كتير ناس نزلوا ساعدوا ناس ونظفوا البيوت etc. Because now you mentioned Instagram stories, I just wanted to point that out. And I remember I went on a full-on rant on my close friends and I'm like, you can't take a mirror selfie in a house that's demolished. رايح البيت كله يعني رايح البيت most probably someone was injured or died in that house. عم تاخدولي mirror selfie انت و your friend and قاعدين عم بتنظفوا البيت.
Yeah.
What are you doing? يعني if this is your act of I don't know helping others just do it without the pic. يعني ما بقى I didn't know what to say. I remember I was so mad إنه في ناس هيك. ونهارتها بتذكر لأنه كمان نحن بالجامعة كتير بنحكي عن how like social media and activism إنه how like the study of it. So عن جد كتير عصبت. وإنه معك حق إنه إذا كل سنة on August 4th يعني you're just gonna get ready to go down, take these Instagram stories and posts, come back home, sit home and do nothing. يعني نزلت على الفاضي ما عملت شيء.
خلص بلاها just don't go.
exactly and it's very frustrating. يعني حتى كمان بالثورة في كتير ناس نزلوا. أنا يعني حتى إنه I took photographs of الثورة ونزلت ورحت على الزلقة ورحت على بيروت ورحت على بطرون ورحت على 100 محل. بس إنه at the same time I feel like it wasn't enough. يعني لو عن جد البلد في ناس بعدها بتفكر إنه كل هالثورة ما إلها عازة وكل هول القصص على الشوارع ما إلها عازة. وناس عن جد بعرفها يعني بس يشوفوا على التي في إنه يحطوا إنه مسكرين الطريق وإنه في they're burning tires on the road. إنه في ناس بيطلعوا بيقولوا إنه أوكي وبعدين إنه شو يعني the country is gonna miraculously fix itself. يعني خلاص بيمشي الحال. بس it's this dilemma يعني it's either people think إنه okay bravo if that's how you want to say it or إنه خلاص لشو إنه شو بتستفيدوا إذا هيك عملتوا.
بتذكر أول فترة like after the explosion تاني نهار like the entire week after كنا عم ننزل أنا my sister my cousin عم ننظف. we would go with cleanup groups وننزل مع حدا من the groups that I was with ما حدا يحمل تليفونه يصور شيء لأنه genuinely ناس نازلة تساعد. يعني أنا I went down with my friends وبلشت أبكي like we went to جميزة وكارنتينا I cried بنص الشارع. بس مش إنه like cried نزلوا دموع. I had a breakdown. بلشت like صريخ. my sister was there my friend was there وجربوا يروقوني وأنا I wasn't even affected. I live in شويفات. I just saw the smoke. يعني كيف الناس اللي هونيك لما you see people over there عالم عم تظهر من بيوتها كانت وعم بيقولوا لنا please come help me clean my house. There's nothing left of my house. Their furniture مكسر ما في إزاز ما في شيء. They're begging people on the street يساعدون because they live alone in a tiny apartment بالجميزة. I'm not gonna go there like إنه أنا I'm doing something for my community. حسسوكي إنه عم بيربحوكي جميلة إنه they're doing something. It's almost really almost feels like this إنه كأنه هيدا مش واجبك كمواطن to help someone that was affected by something ما حتى إنه ما ذنبه بالموضوع. لشوف ناس genuinely motivated groups of people نازلين عم بينطفوا ضحكة على وجههم عن جد إنه they're so happy they're doing something. بعدين يجيني ناس that are just taking pictures نزلوا مرة على التنظيف عرقوا شوي and they went back home. What are you doing? Especially إنه هولي ناس من عمرنا. ما أنتوا إذا طلاب إذا this is how your country is gonna keep going كل ما يصير في انهيار كل ما يصير في something as bad as August 4 which I hope does not happen again. بس إنه إذا كل ما بده يصير هيك you just هيدي this act هاي performance اللي بتعملوها إنه وبعدين do you not care what's gonna happen بعدين ما بدكم تتخرجوا إنه to complete your masters أو to find a job. You think إنه لأنه August 4 happened once it might not happen again. Maybe not an explosion بس فيها تكون حيلا شيء تاني that could be as severe. يعني هلأ ما في بنزين بعد شوي ما حيكون في خبز. قالوا هلأ الأفران they're no longer gonna be delivering طحين ليعملوا like ما بعرف شو بيعملوا بالفرن. Anyway إنه it's horrible. يعني هيدا صار إنه واقف شيء حيط إجا like in front of your journey like as a human being and تكفي دراستك وتشتغلي وهيك. طب كيف this need عن جد to show people إنه أنتوا you're doing something. Why does this overpower إنه your need to actually تكفي حياتك وإنه مستقبلك بهالبلد. يعني as a student this is like my number one concern for now. بعدين إنه like عائلة ومع عائلة maybe أو like securing a house, investments, blah blah blah. هلا now as a student my biggest concern إنه كيف بدي أتخرج وكفي my masters or if I have money like كفي masters if I can leave. إنه when the priorities.
That's a very good question. Like where do your priorities lie? إنه عن جد سؤال كتير مهم حدا يسأله كمان إنه you were saying like I feel like when it comes to going down and taking these pictures, I think there's one thing we have to mention, that there's also like we understand people's purpose is to quote unquote, if you want to say raise awareness, if that's how I could say it, raise awareness about مثلا the protests, raise awareness about what's going on, شو عم بيصير، إنه live videos وهيك. بس إنه it's just the way of how you want to raise awareness, you know. يعني taking يعني standing and posing in front of a demolished house, that's not raising awareness. يعني what are you doing؟ يعني في هيدا الفرق. بس I completely agree with what you said إنه يعني especially right now يعني عن جد I feel إنه يعني هلأ مثل ما قلت أنا هلأ مني عم فكر كيف بدي أسس my future، ما عم فكر بهالشي أبداً. هلأ عم فكر إنه كيف عشية اليوم كيف بدي نام، إنه ما حيكون في AC وما حيكون في شي، يعني بدي نام على البالكون فطيس مشوبة. هيدا الشي عم فكر فيه هلأ. يعني it reached a point where it's always been scary to live here in Lebanon. يعني I still remember things that happened in 2006 during the war. يعني it's always been scary living here, but right now I feel like it feels different because you don't know what's going to happen. This fucking uncertainty kills you. It kills you and خلاص إنه شو إنه حتى لو قعدت بالبيت ما عملت شيء. It's a weird thought, isn't it? إنه بلا كهرباء، بلا مازوت، بلا بنزين تروحي محلات. وهلأ كمان إنه إن شاء الله لا يعني، بس إنه بلا خبز وبلا يعني البرودكتس بالسوبر ماركت صاروا عليوا بشي 200%. إنه بتصير تفكري مان إنه will I ever be able to live a decent life again? You start to think about this.
إنه is there no way out؟ يعني هلا to be worried إنه if I'm gonna have food on my plate tomorrow. like في ليلة مثلا قطعت الكهرباء بالليل like 7 hours و everything عنا بالبراد عفن. everything كان عنا اشياء بالفريزر، إنه في لحمة، لبن، لبنة، جبنة، وهول الاشياء that cost so much هلا بالسوق ليكون قطعت الكهرباء وراحوا كلهم. وكانت my mom جايبتهم قبل بنهار، انتزع كله كرمال قطعة الكهرباء. إنه شو بعمل؟ أمي بدها تروح مثلاً على السوبر ماركت، قطعة جبنة that's barely like قد كم شي بإيدك that costs over 50,000. إذا هيدي أمي مضطرة كل يوم تجيبها بس لأنه إنه في قطعة كهرباء. إنه كيف بدي أنا أعطل هم بعدين إنه شو بدي أعمل بمستقبلي. there are like the most basic things بدي أعطل همهم هلأ. كيف بدي أقعد فكر أنا كيف بدي أسس حالي لبعدين؟ You know, like we're just lost. شو بدنا نعمل؟ Genuinely, we have no idea لوين رايحين.
يعني sometimes when I talk to my parents I say إنه like I'm genuinely scared. like I know I'm still young وبيقولوا لي إنه بل عندك حياة إنه to discover وما بعرف شو. بس إنه بيقولوا لي إنه مرحلة وبتقطع, which I think we all said أول ما صار الكرايسيس قلنا إنه مرحلة وبتقطع إن شاء الله. بس I feel like عن جد هلأ بطلت مرحلة. It's no longer how do you translate a phase? Is this how you translate it? ما بعرف. يعني خلاص يعني عن جد حاسة I feel like إنه I've adapted to these circumstances in a way which if I ever travel or if ever Lebanon becomes Lebanon again, ما بحس I wouldn't know how to function in a normal society. It's يعني to easily يعني the most simple thing to easily go to a gas station and fill up gas. يعني ديك المرة رحت على gas station كانت فاضية، عم بقول إنه أكيد مسكرة. قلت له بتفولي إياها، قال لي قلت له man شو عم بيصير؟ that was super fucking weird, you know. And you get home and you get so happy that you filled your car with gas and your parents get happy that you did that. يعني إنه they say it's the little things بس إنه مش لهالدرجة.
exactly مش لهالدرجة إنه to have basic human إنه like the basic necessities بالحياة. بدي روح فرقع لأنه تعول حدا بمحطة البنزين عبالي 50,000 بدل 20,000. هيدي قبل ما رفعوا دعموا عليوا الأسعار، لأنه I don't know هلأ الأسعار كيف صارت، مش عم بظهر من البيت. بس I remember being so excited إنه عبالي 50,000 بدل 20,000 I was happy the entire week. يعني بعدين إذا تخرجت like how إنه مش تركة any more happiness إذا هالشغلة هالقد كنت انبسط بعد شوي. بس اتخرج إنه what am I living for بعدين؟ really ridiculous things.
عن جد they're ridiculous things and I really يعني عن جد I hope and I pray for everyone who cannot adapt to these circumstances because عن جد it reached a point where I don't think anyone can take it anymore. يعني حتى even the young people. I know there are some, I don't know how, but there is still this part in Lebanon where I see Instagram stories, people are going out, they're partying, ما كأنه في شيء. يعني مرات أنا إنه بدهر مثلا بروح على مخيلتي أتغدى، ناس قاعدين مبسوطة عم تتغدى، وبتحسي إنه everything you see online, everything you see on the news ما كأنه إنه بتروحي على الميز، بتروحي على مخيلتي بتطلعي على بترون، you don't think there's anything else going on, بس إنه I feel like هيك I'm shifting to another conversation now, but when you sit by yourself and actually think about what's going on, you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
No, it's real. إنه قد ما أدهر وقد ما I distract myself مع رفقاتي وقد ما أتضحك. Sometimes like when you're alone with your thoughts, they can eat you up. So thank you, Taleen, for this conversation. And so yeah, thank you for everyone listening. This has been another episode of Beirut Buzz. We'll see you next week with another episode.